If the situation does not change, we will have to reflect on how to make exports to vaccine-producing countries dependent on their level of openness.
Ursula von der Leyen pointed out that 10 million vaccines were exported from the EU to the UK, but she suggested quite clearly that none were coming from Britain to the EU. It is a threat to cut off our supplies of vaccines like Pfizer unless Boris Johnson releases AstraZeneca from its contract. The contract stipulates that AstraZeneca in its 2 UK factories can export elsewhere in the world, but only once the order book with Britain has been fulfilled. The next step will be a summit next week of EU leaders where this will be discussed. I think that's going to be the key moment. If EU leaders think that this is, too aggressive a move because it's not just Britain, the US, Canada, these countries also depend on EU exports of vaccines, things may calm down. If they don't, or if the EU leaders decide that, some vaccine nationalism would be a very convenient distraction from their troubles in the vaccination rollout, then I think we're in for a bumpy ride. And I mean, behind all of this, there's a lot of politics, that's true. And it's also true to say that, this is a vaccine which 17 European countries have suspended the use of over blood clot fears, even though the European Medicines Agency, its own regulator, said that the vaccine was safe. There are a lot of people in Europe who are looking at the EU and Brussels in particular and saying, what are you doing for us on vaccines? Doing something like this shows it's an attempt to reassert control and to demonstrate to EU citizens that Brussels is looking out for their interests, when in fact, on vaccinations, it's done far worse than Britain, the US, Israel, and even Turkey. Mrs. von der Leyen is risking triggering a sort of a global vaccine trade war in order to secure more doses of a vaccine people don't necessarily want, but EU governments aren't really using enough of. About half of the stockpiled AstraZeneca vaccines in the EU have not been used. So it's about 15 million and about 7 million have not been used. So, it seems baffling. It seems illogical. But one thing that's for certain is that it's a very political move.